If you think this has a happy ending, you haven't been paying attention.
All right, I'm officially fed up with the internet. I'm fed up with fucking these, I don't know what you call them, Game of Thrones fans or super nerds that don't care about storytelling. They don't care about writing. They just care about their own personal fucking feelings, their own personal fucking ideas of what should happen. And that's why Game of Thrones is not good, right? It's so ridiculous. The only reasons people could give for why the new episode or the new season is bad is because they didn't do the things they wanted them to do. They wanted Jon Snow to fight the Night King. It didn't happen. Everybody bitches about it. You didn't want Daenerys Targaryen to turn evil, even though they've been hinting at that for 7 seasons. Now the show is shit because it's doing something you don't want it to do. And all these criticisms, it really just reminds me of Batman versus Superman. It literally sounds the same. Like, these people sound identical to the people that hated on BVS when BVS came out. Why did everybody hate Lex Luthor? Because it wasn't the Lex Luthor they envisioned in their fucking head. Why did everyone hate Batman? Because that's not Batman. Batman wouldn't do that. My Batman wouldn't do that. My Superman wouldn't do that. My Daenerys Targaryen wouldn't do that. It all sounds very fucking familiar, doesn't it? And just like Batman vs. Superman, it will take a couple years for people to realize how good this season of Game of Thrones is. In 5 episodes, we have gotten conclusions to story arcs that have been happening for this whole series. We're finally getting conclusions, and people can't handle it. It's like they just want the show to go on forever. They keep saying, oh, they didn't earn Daenerys Targaryen going evil, when she clearly has been a tyrannical ruler throughout the whole show's history. I don't care if it was for good reasons that she killed every single slave master in Slaver's Bay or wherever the hell that city was. You really think a good person does that? You really think a good ruler burns people with different ideologies? No, dude, that's shit Stalin did. That's the same shit Adolf Hitler did. She only killed the slave masters because they had a different ideology to her. And there was no room in her utopia for them. That's why she killed them. It's clear that she's always been a tyrannical ruler. It's clear she's always been bloodthirsty. And when we see her in season 8 go from being in love with Jon Snow to now she doesn't trust Jon Snow because he might take the throne from her, what is she thinking about all of a sudden? She's only thinking about her own self. You know, she's only thinking about her own throne. And now that Jon Snow is a Targaryen and he could take the throne from her, well, all of a sudden, she doesn't like him very much anymore. All of a sudden, she's worried about her own claim to the throne. Yeah, that's something a good ruler does. And what does she do? She tells Jon Snow to promise her that he won't tell anybody, and if he does, then it's essentially over between them. You know, she gives him an ultimatum, really. Which is something a great ruler does, right? Some of the best rulers in history just give people ultimatums and put them in no-win situations. People are so goddamn dumb. It's obvious Daenerys Targaryen is a tyrant. Anybody that's even remotely threatened her throne, she has gotten rid of. Instantly. And her brother was the first one. You remember, all the way back in season 1, she didn't do jack shit to stop him from killing her brother. And I wonder why. Was it really because he was a bad guy, or was it because she wanted to be a ruler? Which one was it, you know? There's no way to really know. Her whole character arc in Game of Thrones has been to become the ruler of the 7 kingdoms. That's been her whole driving factor, this whole show. And the second it's threatened, she gets nervous and she tries desperately to hold on to her power. And what else happens to her in this season? Oh, just her closest advisor, the closest thing she had to a father figure, dies in the Long Night. All right, so that's one person that knew her before she became a tyrannical monster, dead. What else happens? Oh, the slave girl that's her servant, not her equal, her fucking servant, gets her head cut off. So now she's lost another person that knew her before she became a tyrant. There is nobody left in Dany's circle to bring her back to the person she was before she began the journey to become a tyrant ruler. And the only advisor she has left is Tyrion, because she killed Lord Varys because of the hint that might just turn on her, so she kills him instantly by fire. She had no problem setting, at least I think that's how you say his name, the bald guy. She had no problem setting him on fire. You know, no court hearing, no real justification, just based off someone's word. That's enough for her to go, all right, he's going to get set on fire and he's going to die. Oh, you won't bend the knee to me? Oh, you're going to die by fire. I'm going to watch you burn alive in front of me. What kind of good person does that? Daenerys Targaryen has never been a good person. She was before she started her journey. But this whole journey has gone from somebody discovering the real horrors of the world to someone trying to rid the world of those horrors to somebody who's scared shitless of losing her power. That's the character she is now. That's what they've been building up to. Daenerys was always bad because she was always trying to create a new utopia. And if you know anything about history, if you know anything about the human condition, utopias are impossible to create and will always turn tyrannical, because the second somebody comes along that doesn't agree with the direction things are heading, they get offed. They get killed. Anybody that stops the flow of progress, anybody that challenges the new utopia will get executed, will get thrown away. Like, what do you think Daenerys Targaryen was going to do to the people who were still loyal to Cersei's? What do you think she was going to do? Was she just going to let them go? Was she going to banish them? Or was she going to burn them? She was going to burn them. That's not the sign of a good ruler. I don't know how anybody could be shocked by this turn that she made. It has been telegraphed for so long. Everyone thought she was good for so long because she was taking out people who seemingly deserved to be taken out, right? But the second she starts killing people that, you know, it doesn't seem like they deserve it, oh, now it's a big problem. Oh, we didn't see that coming at all. Like, how could you not? She had no remorse for the people that opposed her. You think she's going to have remorse for Cersei after Cersei just killed her best handmaiden? You think she's going to have remorse for the people of King's Landing when they're the cause? They're the reason she had to leave King's Landing. You know, the people of King's Landing are the reason the Targaryens are not ruling anymore. And throughout season 7, what does she keep saying over and over? She says, if Cersei won't surrender, I'll burn the whole city down. You know, she kept saying that constantly. And when Tywin goes, listen for the bells, that means they surrendered, she didn't have any goddamn reaction to that. It's almost like she ignored what he said. It's almost like she was always planning on burning down this goddamn city. She's probably had visions of burning down this city since starting her reign. And now she has the opportunity, and now it's going to stop because they surrendered. And after everything she's been through, and all the mistrust she has, and all the anger she has right now, you think she's just going to stop. You think her adrenaline is just going to stop, and she's just going to, you know, say, oh, we won. All right, no need to fight anymore. No, she's going to keep burning them all. It's pretty obvious. She's not a character that changes her mind. When she's set, when she's determined to do something, she's going to do it. And you can't tell me you didn't see this coming. Especially in the last season, where we see that Jon Snow goes to her, and he has to bend the knee, or he's going to get executed by her. You know, does no one remember that tension? Does no one remember the fear that Dany put into us all? I remember thinking, Jon, you better bend the fucking knee, swallow your pride. Because number one, that's the only way you're getting out of here. And number two, you really need her army. And number three, she doesn't seem that mature to just give up her power. She's a very selfish character that only cares about one thing, and that's keeping her power. And what does Cersei say to Sean Bean in the first season? Power is power. And that's where Dany is right now. That's all she thinks about, is controlling her own power and keeping her power. That's it. That's what her character has been for like 4 or 5 seasons. She has just been preoccupied with holding on to her power. And everybody fears her. Why do you think everybody fears her? You know, like, this has been telegraphed for so long that she was going to turn. I thought it would happen sooner. I thought it would happen like a few seasons ago. But no, it happened the second to last episode, and now we only have one more episode to resolve things. I don't know how they're going to do it. They're definitely not going to satisfy anybody because everybody's already hell-bent on hating this by saying ridiculous shit like there's bad writing in this show, which is just so ridiculous when you compare it to like a movie like Endgame, which doesn't even think through its own time travel. I mean, the whole reason Ant-Man is brought back from that dimension is because a fucking mouse accidentally hits the button that lets him out. That's the only reason he's brought back. And you're talking to me about bad writing in Game of Thrones when you have that shit happening in a movie that's going to make billions of dollars. That's already made billions of dollars. And you're going to come at me and say there's bad writing in Game of Thrones when you can't tell me one line of dialogue that's bad writing. People just use this blanket expression, oh, it's bad writing, it's poorly executed, and we're right back at BVS. It's the same fucking situation as BVS. It's people not thinking about what they're saying, and they're just regurgitating what they see everybody else saying. And if you notice, most of the people hating on this shit are the same people that bitch and moan about feminist bullshit and social justice warriors. That's like all they do all the time, and those are the same people hating on Game of Thrones, and I can't see what the fuck they're talking about. What feminist agenda is in Game of Thrones? You just had the most popular female character go evil. Where's the fucking feminist agenda? Where's the social justice politics? We just saw a city burn. Get off that shit. People see what they want to see. And if they see that everybody's hating on it, well then of course you have to hate on it too. It's that fucking simple. It's groupthink mentality. It's nobody thinking about what's actually happening right now. It's nobody thinking about the fact that this is the actual last season. Next week is the final episode. And that's it. We're not going to have 2 more seasons of it dragging on. They're ending it right now. And people are bitching that they're not dragging it on. People want them to drag it on for another like 2 seasons because people are so conditioned by shitty Marvel movies that they think you have to make like 5 movies and you have to take like 6 years to develop a character or to have them change or do something. It doesn't take years for people to change. It takes one day. You know, it takes something small and someone could change. And change doesn't happen over the span of years. It could happen in the span of an hour. It could be a sudden realization and all of a sudden your thoughts are changed about something. You could hear somebody say a word and it could give you post-traumatic stress. You could see that the person that used to love you doesn't love you anymore, and that could cause a person to change. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so simple. It's not bad writing because no one saw it coming. No one predicted it. Well, actually, many people predicted Daenerys Targaryen would actually go evil. Like, that was the whole prediction, that she was going to become the Mad Queen. And they fucking did it, and everybody's bitching about it. You can't win with these fucking fans. Fans ruin everything. Fans, quote-unquote fans, are the reason we're not going to get a Justice League Part 2. They're the reason we're not going to get a Snyder Cut anytime soon. These fucking fans. So next time you want to go take the side of these stupid-ass fans that think they know something about writing when they don't know anything about writing, actually start thinking for yourself and start putting the pieces together yourself. What has led up to Daenerys Targaryen's change this season? And you'll see a bunch of shit every episode leading up to this. But anyway, that's it for now. I don't really care one way or the other if you like Game of Thrones or not. I don't want to hear the reasons why you hate it because chances are I've already read it on Twitter. All right? Because people are not that creative. They all say the same bullshit. So just save your breath if you're going to say it's bad writing or they didn't earn it. I might even block those 2 words because I feel like no one would have anything to say if they couldn't say bad writing or earn it. If you just took out those words from their vocabulary, they would have no idea what to say. But anyway, that's it for now. I'll see y'all later. Comment below. Bye for now.
If you think this has a happy ending, you haven't been paying attention.